one of the first things when we brought this topic up was that I thought about was, well, you got to be on, like, I mean, sell the truth. That's the name of this podcast, right? You got to be honest with your customer this time of the year. People, like customers come to, as a salesperson, right? You have customers that come to you all the time and they're like, listen, I need to get this project done ASAP. Like, can you still get it in? And if you can't get it in, be honest with them, right? What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sell the Truth. I'm your host, Eli Stoehr, and I'm excited to have you. I'm also excited to have Michael Aceti from the Pavement Group. Big dog, you are number one salesperson of last year, core value award winner of last year, and just one of the best dudes on the team. I'm excited to have you on.
I appreciate it. I'm excited to be here, and I absolutely love this stuff. So let's do it.
Let's do it. So for those of you who don't know, real quick before we dive into it, the Core Value Award, that's the one that I was like, dude, I was so glad you got that last year. So at the Pavement Group, at the end of every year, we vote as peers. We vote on somebody to win the Core Value Award. So the Core Value Award is an award that basically says like, hey, who on the team followed the core values to a T. Like, who identifies with the core values, lives them every single day. And the team at the Pavement Group voted Mike Aceti on the sales team as the Core Value Award winner. So that's one of the most special things that like I get to watch.
Yeah, the fact that my fellow employees voted for me for that award, that just means the world to me. I mean, I love everybody that we work with here. It's a privilege to get to communicate with these folks on a daily basis, and whenever I do get the chance to get to Pittsburgh, lots of hugs and lots of love spread throughout the office. So, yeah, thank you.
I love it. Well, good stuff, dude. Well, we are diving into a topic that a lot of folks in this industry are really going to relate to. It's mid-late August right now. We're really hitting a time of the year in the construction industry, specifically for us in the paving industry, where, it gets crazy, and people call it the paving playoffs, right? So what we wanted to talk about today, what I want to talk about with you, pick your brain a little bit. You've been through this many years. I want to understand, how can a salesperson in this industry or in any construction industry, how can they navigate, or what are some of the best ways to navigate? How can they succeed in the paving playoff season, right? So, you've been in the industry for several years, probably longer than I could even count, right? You've been in
20 plus.
Yeah. So you've been through this quite a bit, right?
And it's different now that I'm on the national, in the national space with TPG, and I was down in South Florida for 20 years, so there was never really a final end of year, playoff push like it is nationally. But nationally, I mean, you got tiers. Up north, you're not going to be seal coating within the next month or so, right? Middle of September, October, you're not going to be seal coating. And the biggest thing with the playoff push to be successful is the communication. You have to over communicate. Don't promise your customer something that shouldn't be done, before the winter months, and just make sure you communicate with everybody involved on any situation. So
we brought up this conversation, or this topic of conversation yesterday. We said, hey, what do we want to talk about on the pod? And one of the first things when we brought this topic up was that I thought about was, well, you got to be on, like, I mean, sell the truth. That's the name of this podcast, right? You got to be honest with your customer this time of the year. People, like, customers come to, as a salesperson, right? You have customers that come to you all the time and they're like, listen, I need to get this project done ASAP. Like, can you still get it in? And if you can't get it in, be honest with them, right? Like, or if you shouldn't, right? If it's October and it's 40 degrees out and they're saying, hey, I want to throw a bunch of money at you to get something seal coated, listen, you got to be honest with them and say, I can't do that, right? And so I guess I just want to ask you, like, how do you navigate those types of conversations? Because there are, some really big opportunities that can arise at this time of the year, right? We have brand new customers, existing customers that come to us and say, hey, can you still get these, 18 jobs in before the end of the year? And if we can, absolutely, we're going to try to. But how do you navigate those conversations when maybe you can't, or maybe you shouldn't, right? Maybe it's too late in the season. How do you generally navigate that conversation?
Honesty, you have to be honest, and you have to have your client's interest at the forefront. You don't want to waste their money. If you waste their money now before, to end the season, come the beginning part of next season, that same client isn't going to, they're going to come back to you and say, well, why is this failing on us? And you weren't truthful and you weren't honest to them. You got no excuses, and just feel like if you are truthful, it will come back tenfold, right? So if you tell these folks, listen, you can't do this right now. Let's look at it in the spring. They will call you come spring, and we will get that project rolling come spring, and they're gonna, have a much better product when it's all said and done. So it's really just being truthful.
And I think the important part too is extending that time horizon of, of the results that you're trying to get. So like, what I mean by that is, some of the clients that we work with, we'll do a little bit of work with them year one, but like ideally I'm looking at like the next 5, 10, 15 years. Like, obviously we're going to capture and do work with them throughout every year, but like, dude, I'm looking at a long-term relationship. So like when you're looking towards the future and you're thinking, like I'm sitting here thinking, dude, it's got to be a 10, 15 plus year, 20-year relationship. That's what I'm shooting for. And if the client is, has the same values as you, right? Like, and you got to tell them no on a specific project, like, dude, they're going to appreciate that. Right.
Yeah, and that money, some of that money that they're trying to spend, you could look at their property and say, listen, don't spend it on that, spend it on this right now, and still, work with them to maximize their money, and that's what you have to look out for your client like that, because that you're 100% correct. It's the long term. Like I want these folks to call me in a year from now when they think of pavement or anything that has to do with a parking lot or roadway. I would love for them to think of me and the conversations that we've had on their property, because that's what you have to do.
So let's talk a little bit less on the actual project, but more on the prospecting side of things when it comes to sales this time of the year, right? It's a good time of the year to get in front of people, good time of the year to meet people. A lot of the times, folks in our industry right now are budgeting for next year, right? So it's late August, late August. People are putting budgets together. How have you been going about asking them or being a resource for them? Like, have you been asking to be a resource for them to help them with budgeting? How do you typically navigate that conversation?
Absolutely, and that should be touched throughout the year. So when it comes time for budget season, there isn't no need for me to reach out and say, "Hey, I'm here for your budget season." Like if you communicate that throughout the year with your customer, they're gonna reach out to you as soon as they're ready for budget season, and you're gonna be top of mind. So as long as you do your job properly throughout the year, that will come over. Now, for a new client to try to solicit that from them, it's communicating. Reaching out via phone call and saying and talking to them directly, not just sending the email. Hey, we're here for budget season. If you have anything, shoot it our way. But actually reaching out to them via phone call, sending them a video message, and just trying to make sure that we are top of mind when it comes to looking at their budget stuff. So that's
video messenger. You
yeah,
talking selfie videos, big dog?
selfie videos. That's Mr. Eli's got me on that this last year and a half now, and they work. People.
So what is a selfie video for those who don't know?
A selfie. Put the camera in front of you, say hi, tell them, remind them who you are, tell them what you're calling them for, and just wish them the best for that day, that week. And I'm telling you, people. The face-to-face, again, with being national, you're not face-to-face every day with, a lot of your clients. They're in California, we're in Pittsburgh, I'm in South Carolina. So to put a little video together and send that out to customers, it's great. It's fantastic. It's a great tool.
Yeah, 60-second video or less, could be 30 seconds. Take your phone, turn the camera around, thank the prospect for the opportunity, thank them for their time. Like you said, wish them a great week, a great month, a great day, whatever it is, whatever it be, right?
Hope your week's going good. Hope your week's off to a great start. And if you have any questions, you got my number, you got my email. We're always here to talk. I'm always up for a chat.
What's crazy, man, is like nobody does that in our industry. Nobody's willing to. I've taught this to a lot of people. The people who take advantage of it see tremendous returns, hence you, right? And some of the other folks on our team. The people who don't like the idea but then don't do it, and they're sitting there wondering, like, what can I do to get in front of people and make myself memorable? It's like, well, here's what you got to do.
It's a form of communication. Like I started this, the paving playoffs is, over communicating. That's just another way to communicate with folks and to be faced, not face to face, but to see that we're real humans, we're real people. We have a lot of passion for this stuff, and it's always great to see. So,
absolutely, absolutely. So when somebody comes to you with a deal, with an opportunity, and they need to get it in, last minute, you're obviously collaborating with the team, right? So that's another big piece of this, right? You're collaborating with all the PCs, Tony Grout on our team, right? Director of Field Ops, trying to get this in. How are you navigating, if maybe we can't get it in, but now maybe you thought we could get it in and now you can't get it in, right? Maybe the schedule's pushed out too long. Is that just, to me, I've always just thought it's just communicate. Like there's always, we're human, right? There are things that throughout the process we're going to drop the ball on. Obviously it's a tough conversation, but is it just clear communication? Like, hey, listen, we're going to get this in, we're going to make it right.
Doing it right away. Like once you figure out, once you realize that you're not going to be able to do it, do not hesitate with information like that. Reach out immediately and get in front of it, because if you wait, it's going to come back and get you. It's going to come back to bite you. Like get in front of it, communicate, explain exactly the situation, and more than likely, if you're not going to be able to get this job done, before season, to try to rush it through. It's going to come back to get you. So it's just get right in front of it as soon as you find out that it's not going to happen. Get a hold of your client, explain the situation, and and have a game plan for as soon as season's ready. The plant in your area is going to be opened in March. On February, the last week of February, we're going to start reaching out, making sure everything's in line, and as soon as season starts, you're the first one that's going to get taken care of. So,
love it, dude, love it. Is it also, we talked a little bit about prospecting this time of the year, right? And the biggest thing that, and what you said earlier on prospecting, when we're talking about budgeting, is like, for me, it's consistency, right? It's consistency in prospecting. I feel like you've seen that throughout this year. You've done a really good job at prospecting. You've brought on a lot of new clients, a lot of new opportunities that are, if they haven't turned into clients this year, they certainly will. You've already started those conversations. But how big is consistency when it comes to prospecting? Because you said hopefully you're doing your job throughout the entire year, right? And you're not just relying on, okay, it's August, you're doing budgeting, let me reach out to you now. It's like, no, you've been dropping little conversations here and there, emails, conversations, selfie videos, you name it. You've been little touch points here and there throughout the entire year. For me, I've always thought consistency is the biggest thing when it comes to prospecting. Or is there anything else?
It's the discipline too. Like it's the same, interchange the words, but discipline, consistency, making sure that even if you don't have anything going with your client that you need to reach out to them, reach out anyway. Just drop a line, shoot them an email, say hi. They're your client. They know that what you do for a living and all that stuff. So just as long as you're disciplined with your touches and making sure you say hi and reach out to your customers, come budget season, they're gonna know exactly who to send that to. So
I feel like when it comes to follow up and just reaching out to people and connecting with them, like they know why you're calling. Like you don't need to say like, "Hey, I'm not trying to sell you." Like you're a salesperson.
Like, they know I'm Mike Aceti from the Pavement Group.
Who's in sales? You're a salesperson. Like your job is to create opportunities and bring in deals, jobs, and at the end of the day, our job is to bridge that gap for clients and make the process easier to complete these projects. And so, like one thing I'll say to anyone who's listening to this, like don't hide the fact that you're a salesperson. You don't need to sit there and say, "Hey, wanted to talk." Like no. Like you're a salesperson. You can admit that and be honest about it. We don't need to beat around that bush.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, they know I'm Mike Aceti from the Pavement Group. They know I'm in sales. They know that I could take care of their properties or at least get them assessed and spend their money wisely. So communicate.
That's it, dude. Would you, is there anything else, obviously there's a lot that goes into the paving playoffs, right? Is there anything else that you would say for any salesperson out there to be successful during this time? Obviously there's a lot of opportunities. You should be prospecting this time of the year for end of the year projects. You should also be prospecting this time of the year for next year's projects. So in this case, 2025 projects. Is there anything else that a salesperson should or maybe shouldn't be doing, or should or shouldn't focus on as they enter the paving playoffs?
Sales in it's a 24/7 job, so there's always something you can do. There, whenever it's not a slow season. To me, it's just another opportunity to do another prospecting or something else along those lines, because there's always something to do in our industry. In sales, there's always something to do to keep you busy. So work like it is a 24/7 job, because that's what you're supposed to do for your clients.
100%, dude. I love it. I love it. Well, if you guys have any questions on the paving playoffs, how to absolutely crush it here from here to the end of the year, man, it's August. I'm excited. By the time this episode comes out, August will be probably the last week of August. I don't know if Jesse's is coming out. Probably, you probably know, last week of August. Yeah. So, dude, we're gonna be in full. We're already in full swing, but we're gonna be in even fuller swing, as you might say. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to Michael Aceti.
Yeah.
This dude's got 20-something years of experience in this industry. We wanted to keep this one nice, short, and sweet. Biggest thing I can say, though, is communicate. In the paving playoffs, be honest, communicate with your customers.
Sell the truth. Sell the truth. That's the name of the show. Sell the truth. Like don't got to be honest. That as long as you're honest with your clients, they will come to you all day, every day with questions, concerns, and you'll be their go-to person for your trade.
Love it, dude. Well, I appreciate you having you on. It's a good one. Nice, short, and sweet. Some good jam-packed information into this one. And guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Catch you next month. It'll be another month from now. We'll be even deeper into the paving playoffs and read some good info. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.